Pierce Brosnan is an American environmentalist, actor, and film producer. Brosnan started his acting career through theater and then made his film debut in 1980 with The Long Good Friday, but he initially gained fame through his role in television series Remington Steele. He then appeared in several films before becoming the fifth actor to portray secret agent James Bond in the famous James Bond film series. Brosnan appeared in total 4 films of the series during 1995 to 2002, all which garnered huge commercial success and still remain the most famous film of his career. Here are 10 things you probably didn't know about Pierce Brosnan. He dropped out of school to become a painter. Once Brosnan reached the age of 16, he decided to drop out of school. He went to a very strict Catholic school in London, and as an Irishman, he never quite felt like he fit in. When he dropped out, he decided to become a painter, and he began training at St. Martin's School of Art in London. It wasn't until he discovered his passion for acting several years later that he says he finally felt free. In his early 20s, he trained for 3 years at the Drama Centre in London and said nothing had ever made him feel more satisfied in life than acting. A fire eater. When he was a teenager, Brosnan ran into a fire eater performing on the streets of London, and he decided to join with him and learn the craft. After a circus agent saw him performing on the streets for tips, he hired him to be part of his circus act. Brosnan signed a contract and performed with the circus as a fire eater for 3 years while in his teens, and his skill was later showcased in an episode of Remington Steele. His first wife died from ovarian cancer. Pierce met Cassandra Harris, an Australian actress, a few months after he left drama school, and they got married in 1980. 3 years later, they had a son named Sean. They were married for 11 years, and they first met Albert Broccoli, James Bond producer, when his wife had a role in the Bond film For Your Eyes Only in 1981. Sadly, Cassandra became seriously ill while filming a movie in India in 1987, and it was discovered she had ovarian cancer. She died a few years later in 1991 when she was 43 and Pierce was 38. His eldest stepdaughter also died of ovarian cancer in 2013. He was married again in 2001 to American journalist Keely Shea Smith, and they now have been together for over 20 years. He turned down the role of James Bond 7 years before his first Bond film. When Brosnan's hit show Remington Steele was cancelled in 1987, James Bond producers jumped at the opportunity to offer the iconic role to him, and he was all set to accept. But then, the ratings for Remington Steele improved so much, the show was renewed and Brosnan was contractually obligated to return to the title role. The producers ended up going with Timothy Dalton instead of the Living Daylights and License to Kill. Some legal disputes caused the Bond series to be out of commission for a few years, but in 1994, Brosnan finally got his chance signing a 3-film deal with the option for a 4th film. His first Bond movie, GoldenEye, grossed $350 million worldwide in 1995. He received cars in addition to his salary for his Bond roles. As a bonus for playing the role of James Bond, Brosnan was given a car for 3 of his films in addition to his regular salary. For GoldenEye in 1995, he received a BMW Z3, which was featured in the film. In 1997, he received an 8 Series BMW for Tomorrow Never Dies, and in 1999, he was given a BMW Z8 Roadster after completing The World Is Not Enough. He owns his own production company called Irish Dreamtime. In 1996, he's establishing a production company based in Santa Monica, California called Irish Dreamtime. He started the company with his business partner Bio St. Clair, who tragically passed away in 2016 from ovarian cancer, the same disease that took his wife and oldest daughter. The small production company has produced some big-time films, including The Thomas Crown Affair, Laws of Attraction, and The Matador. He also sold scripted shows to Fox, Sony, and Spike TV. He became a United States citizen in 2004. Pierce Brosnan moved to the United States in 1982 to take on the title role in Remington Steele, a television series that combined romance and detective drama. Although he continuously lived in the United States, it wasn't until more than 20 years later in 2004 that he became an American citizen. He now holds dual Irish and American citizenship. Despite the added citizenship though, he said that his Irishness is in everything he does and the spirit of who he is. He faced possible jail time in 2018 for appearing in an Indian advertisement. In October 2016, Brosnan was featured in a newspaper and television ads in India, advertising for a Pan Bahar mouth freshener. Although this doesn't seem like it would be controversial, there was a major backlash. The problem is that the mouthwash he was advertising is also available in other flavors that contain a type of chewing tobacco, and it's illegal to advertise tobacco products in India. In 2018, Pierce was questioned by Indian authorities who demanded to know why he had chosen to be in the ad campaign and threatened him with a fine and a 2-year prison sentence. The ads were withdrawn, and Pierce said he was so deeply shocked and saddened to find out that he had been promoting a tobacco product, he felt the company had misled and manipulated him, and he apologized to the authorities. His singing in Mamma Mia was compared to a water buffalo and a donkey. In 2008, Brosnan played the notable role of Sam in the hit movie Mamma Mia, and he became known for his singing, but not in a good way. To practice for the singing role, he sang karaoke to his own voice for hours a day for 6 weeks and then practiced more in rehearsals. But by his own admission, he sounded dreadful. When the movie came out, critics compared his voice to a water buffalo, a wounded raccoon, and a donkey, and he earned a Razzie Award for Worst Supporting Actor as well. Nevertheless, he's returning in the sequel, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, in 2018, and he'll be doing his own singing once more. He only met his father once at the age of 31. Pierce's father, Thomas, left when he was a baby, and he never knew him growing up. In fact, he only met him one time when he was 31 years old. He was filming an episode of Remington Steele in Ireland where he arranged to have a face-to-face meeting with his father at his hotel. He said they shared some stories and a few pints of Guinness, but then they went their separate ways and never met up again.